Hello, my beautiful divine collective. This is your girl, Phoenix Dragon Queen, coming to you with just a simple message. No cards, okay? No cards. My last message, I told you about my so called birth mother. And I have shared with you that yes, I have 2 degrees. 1 degree in programming and web design, another degree in business administration. And I have also shared with you that, yes, at one point in time, I was living in a tent under a bridge. I gave it all up. And the movie The Fisher King comes to mind. Robin Williams. If you know, you know. If you don't know, look it up. Because seriously, I have walked that path. You know, when the divine told me, wake up, answer the call, are you really willing to give it all up? And I said, yes, I am. So, my first major awakening. I lived in Richmond, Virginia. And Source told me it's time for you to go. And I said, okay. And I packed my 3 little bags and I walked. And I'm serious when I tell you I walked. I walked along the freeway, something that you're never supposed to do. Okay? I literally walked from Richmond, Virginia to Ashland, Virginia. Get your maps up. Do your Google Maps. Seriously, I walked from Richmond, Virginia to Ashland, Virginia. I lost one of my bags along the way because it was too heavy and I couldn't carry it. And I got to a truck stop in Ashland and I called my so-called mother and I was crying and my feet were blistered and bones were broken. And I said, Mom, I need your help. I need to get out of here. And she said, okay, you want to leave that bad? And I said, yes, I do. And she came and picked me up. And I sat at her house for 3 days. And let me tell you, it was 3 days of fucking hell. Because this is what I'm trying to get away from. But she did me a solid. She did. She did me a solid. She bought me a Greyhound bus to Wisconsin because that's where I wanted to go. I had a friend from high school, Key West High School, Key West, Florida, mind you. I had a friend that had moved from Key West to Wisconsin. And that friend was like, yeah, come on out here. It's great. It's wonderful. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. That's a whole nother other story. But I'm telling you, when Source tells you it's time to go, it is time to go. Leave it all behind. Let it all go. Catch a bus, catch a plane, catch a train. When Source tells you it is time to go, then go. Okay? Now, backtrack a little bit. Yeah, my birth mother did me a solid. She bought me a bus ticket, but she didn't do it out of love. She did it because she was like, finally, I can get rid of this burden. Finally, I can get rid of the truth sayer, seer. Finally. And there's a reason I'm saying that. Because fast forward 5 years later, I'm literally living in a tent under a bridge, shooting meth in my arm. And there's no shame in my game. I truly don't mind saying this because it is a shadow, a demon that I have overcome. Okay? I'm healed from that. So I don't mind saying it. But what I want you people to understand, that same mother, I'm under a bridge in a tent, putting needles in my arm. And I called her one day because I knew that was not where I was supposed to be. I knew that was wrong. And what did I want? I wanted my mother. I wanted my mother. And so I called her and I was crying. And I said, Mom, I'm in trouble. I need your help. Can I come home? Do you know what that demon said to me? That demon said, no. You ruin everything you touch. Now, mind you, I have literally saved that demon's ass 3 times. 3 times. 3 times I have saved her life. But she couldn't help me when I was at my lowest. True, I'm speaking truth. The first time I saved her life, she was living in Savannah, Georgia, dating some dude. They was doing crack, this, that, and the other. The dude stole from the dealers, and they caught wind of it, so they set him up. They put a lethal mixture under the stairs in their little hideaway, knowing that he was going to steal it. He did. He stole it. He smoked it. He tried to get my mother to smoke it with him. And for some reason, on that particular day, she said no. Guess what, folks? He died of a brain aneurysm because the dealers set him up. And then she called me and she said, Sean, I'm not going to give my first name. That's a family nickname. But she said, Sean, I need your help. Can you come help me? And I said, yes, Mom, I'm on my way. I will be there for you. You gave me life. I'm on my way. And I literally picked up, at that time, my spouse. He had 2 children. I had my child. So I've got a family of fucking 5. Because it's me, him, and 3 kids. And this happened to fall on the weekend of the youngest boy's birthday. So what did we do? We made a family trip out of it. We drove in 2 separate vehicles from Richmond, Virginia to Savannah, Georgia to save my mother's life. And literally, while we were there, one of the drug dealers came up to us and they was talking blah, 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 blah. And I was like, you know what? Get your little ass out of here. My mother don't have nothing to do with your crap. And I got her out of there. And I brought her back home to Richmond, Virginia, where my grandmother used to live. All right? That was the first time I saved her life. Once I got her home, okay, I had a 1-bedroom apartment that me and my daughter lived in. I had a spouse, yes, but he had his own place. You know, we were together, but we were apart. That's not uncommon. Honestly, that's not uncommon. That's fucking normal, okay? But check it out. I get her to my house. She literally takes over my daughter's bedroom, sleeps in bed 24, 30 hours, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, something's wrong. Something's not right. I get her to the doctors. She has a sexually transmitted disease that was killing her, that she got from her boyfriend and all the freaking drugs that they were doing. So what do? I get her to a doctor. I get her on antibiotics. They gave her these horse pills that were huge, but I nursed her back to health. That's the second time I saved her life. Okay? True story. I'm speaking realism right here. Because the demons from the past are trying to pull me back in. But let me tell my truth as to why I don't speak to none of y'all. And why you can't go where I'm going. Okay? Third time I saved her life. I hooked her up with my brother. Now, mind you, my brother, he's like me. He's like me, but unfortunately, they diagnosed him with schizophrenia. They put him on drugs and freaking just killed his brain, okay? But she wanted to be a mother. She wanted to be a mom all of a sudden. And so I hooked her up with her firstborn. Got them living, got them back together. Years later, all the black magic and the bullshit that she threw my way boomeranged back to her ass. She was dying. My brother, who's schizophrenic but on medication and doing good, and he called me and he said, Sean, I'm worried. Now, this is prolific. For him to say I'm worried, I'm like, I got you, bro. I got you. I'm on my way. 3 days later, I hopped a plane, went and picked up my daughter, and then we drove from her place to Richmond, Virginia. Now, mind you, at this point in time, my mother, my brother are living in a trailer. My daughter and I walk into this trailer. and my so-called mother, the portal that brought me into this world, is literally ooh, you dirty witch. You don't want me to speak my truth, but I'm going to speak my truth. The witch, the dirty witch, was lying on the floor. Literally, cockroaches crawling on her face and in her hair, and she's barely breathing. My daughter puts her head on her grandmother's chest to make sure she's breathing. I put my hand hover above her nose to make sure she's breathing. And we're like, okay, she's breathing. But you know what my brother said? Because the demons already had his soul. You know what he said? He said, Mom's fine, just walk over her. Seriously, people, he said she's fine, just walk over her. And I was floored. I was taken aback by the scene. She was a hoarder. There were clothes everywhere and all these purses that she liked to collect and all this crap. All this material crap that had been infested with roaches. Okay? So I'm flipping, but I'm trying to be sane. I'm trying to be calm. You know, I gather a bunch of her clothes together. I take them to the laundromat. I wash them. I put them in a plastic bag. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So I no longer live in Richmond, but I have friends there. My daughter has friends there, and we're there for 2 days. 2 days. Serious. And on the third day, I told my daughter, I said, no, we're putting grandma in the hospital. Whether she likes it or not, we're putting grandma in the hospital. Now, mind you, this was during COVID. This was literally during COVID when this happened. And, you know, me being the strong one, being the black sheep that they ostracized, but me knowing the correct path. I marched my ass back to that trailer and I said, no, you're going to the hospital. And she fought me tooth and nail. She fought me so bad that I had to call the cops to get her physically removed from the house. And her body was so broken and so torn, she couldn't walk, people. She couldn't walk. She had legs, but she couldn't walk because the black magic had boomeranged on her so badly. But at that time, I didn't know that. All I knew is this is my mother and she needs help. And I'm going to do what it takes to help her. So, called the sheriff's department. They came in with the ambulance and all this and that and literally removed her from her home. But check it out, folks. The third time I saved her life. When I got her to the hospital and they checked her out and they did all their checks and this and that and whatever, the nurse came to me. She said, you must be an angel. And I said, what are you talking about? What do you mean? She said, your mother's body was going septic. A day or two more and she would have been dead, gone, mort. Finito. But yet, this person still chooses to persecute me after I saved her life 3 times? Are you freaking kidding me? Seriously, are you freaking kidding me right now? When I called you and wanted to come home, you told me I was a piece of shit. You told me no, because I ruined everything I touch, but yet I saved your ass 3 times. There's a reason I changed my phone number. There is a reason I moved clear across the country to get away from you. And ain't nobody gonna shut me up, 'cause I'm not that little girl anymore. I am not that child that you can sit in a corner and say children are to be seen and not heard. No. You will hear me. You're either in or you're out. The Most High deems it so. That nurse was right. I am an angel. But which angel am I? Am I a war angel? I know I'm part demon. And I got no qualms with that. I'm one of them rare oddities that has angels and demons fighting for me. Now, this deck, I don't bring this deck out often, but Source said bring it out. This is the Angels and Demons deck. There is a demon, OSE, cowardly actions, because my mother had cowardly actions. She talked about me behind my back. She called me names. She ridiculed me. But when push came to shove, and she truly needed somebody that was gonna be there and take care of shit, who did she call? She called me. But yet, she was cowardly in her actions. What else do we have? Fame and renown. 22. Source is telling me, don't worry, baby. You're going to get everything that you deserve. Everything that they took from you, that they stole from you. You are one of my chosen. And they chose to treat you like you were nothing? Seriously? Whatever. All right. This is Phoenix Dragon Queen speaking her truth. Peace, love, and enlightenment.